Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Dish Shelter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Hello, good sir. It is wonderful to see you here on the stream of my life.
Ah, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific comer himself, Zealeus.
Greetings and salutations on this beautifully chilly Thursday night.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is the Thursday Night Hangout. It's a live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show. If at any point during the show you have any topics, your questions, thoughts, opinions, criticisms, please drop them in the chat. We'll try to add it to the show. If we do, unfortunately, run out of time, we'll add it to the very next show. I'm very surprised I actually got that right. I am basically, my brain no worky, because as Zealeus was hinting to, we were based out of Atlanta, and we've basically been having, I don't know, hazardous weather, very cold. I don't know, Zealeus, did you see any snow?
I saw snow last week, but this recent one that hit starting Tuesday,
Yep.
No. Like, I was north of the demarcation line by wait, did you see snow?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so that tells you, Harley and I live pretty damn close to each other.
Yeah.
And I saw 2 flakes of snow and nothing stuck at all.
We had a 1/4 inch that landed on our car.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's just crazy. Yeah, because we had flurries for about 15 minutes and not any precipitation at all this time.
Yeah, no. We had about a 1/4 inch on the cars. It really, it made the ground kind of off whitish. Nothing really stuck.
I was surprised actually with how cold it's been that it didn't stick more to the ground.
It was so light. There was no moisture in that snow. It was like powder.
I got it. So it's good snowball weather was what it should have been then.
Possibly. I actually like my snowballs to have a little bit of moisture to really, make it an ice ball of doom and death.
Sounds like a good way to punish a young child.
Yes. But anyways, like I said, this is the Thursday night show. We're going to try to cover some topics. So let us start off with some topics here. And the first one is for those out there who play Diablo 4. You may have realized that in the Season 7, there is a unique armor that is not really desirable right now. And that is because there seems to be a bug that causes the explosion effects of the Barbarians' earthquakes to deal no damage.
Well, that's unfortunate.
That seems like a big part of the Barbarian, I'm thinking.
You see, you have an earthquake, and it's just to move the enemies into a more centralized location so you can follow up with your fist. Who really needs to do damage?
Well, it does no damage if you've got this equipped. Mantle of Mountain's Fury.
I will believe you.
So, Mantle of Mountain's Fury makes it sound like it's going to cause lots of damage when you do, stuff screwing around with, mountainous dirt, earth, all that stuff, and apparently it does nothing. The good news is that Blizzard is working on a hotfix, so you don't know. No one knows when it's actually scheduled to come out, but it's one of those that has a synergy. I'm looking at the scale. It does hammer of the ancient damage for 5 seconds after earthquake explodes. So it's one of those synergistic effects. So probably somewhere in the synergy code, something's obviously not calculating correctly. They misplaced the decimal point.
I usually blame it on the alligator clips.
That too.
I've actually started playing Season 7 tonight.
Aha! Well, there you go.
I
are you playing as a barbarian?
No, I'm not. So,
oh, okay.
And this looks like it's a later game unique, anyways, or at least definitely not something I would have got in the first day, anyways.
Gotcha. Well, anyways, it is only for the barbarian. So,
yeah, definitely the skills are for barbarians. Yes.
Yes. So, but don't you love that when you have a game that releases season content and then something that is unique to a specific class does nothing close to what it's supposed to do? You would think that someone would catch this in testing.
Well, they do have the PTR where they had I know the druid had a bug where basically it caused infinite damage to the point where the numbers were negative. So obviously they broke a floating point variable somewhere. Yeah, so that was a thing that happened. So they do have the PTR, the test realm, to test some of those bugs, and they do find them. But the other interesting one that you get is, okay, so here's a question for you. So so you have seasons. It's a big thing in ARPGs. So the question that happens is you start a season, and inevitably in these games, and mind you, this is PvE, it's not PvP. In PvE, you get a really strong build. Usually it happens, and like this one class blows the others out of the way. And so the question is should you basically nerf that class to be more in line with the others, or do you just kind of let them go with the power fantasy and just say whatever happens, happens? Like within reason, obviously. Like one shot the entire screen is like excessive. But I'm just saying, like, a very powerful build, not due to a bug, just because somebody figured out the right strategy. What do you think in those circumstances?
Okay, well, so when it deals with PvE, I personally think that this would actually benefit the game overall, because it might cause individuals who've never played that character to play that character for that season to see if maybe it's in their wheelhouse. I mean, I wouldn't nerf it. In my opinion, I wouldn't nerf it at all. I would let it go. Yes, you're going to see, I don't know, let's say the druid, you would see like a huge spike in druid usage. Okay. Well, because the thing is, it's season content. There's going to be more content. There's going to, going to be unique things that are going to occur. And now the downside would be that, if you did let this go and it kind of became a thing, some people would be like, okay, well, which one, what character class is going to get the Uber build this time? And then if everyone's kind of in line in the next season, some people might feel gypped.
Yeah, I'm generally the same feeling, as long as it's not like an actual bug. Like the Druid one was a bug where it just like infinitely scaled when it wasn't supposed to. So as long as it's not a bug or something, or like the opposite of the Barbarian Earthquake where you do no damage. So like those make sense to fix. But if it's like just it so happens that a class or a build seems to like outstrip the others, then for the most part, I'm like, yeah, just kind of let people have the power fantasy. Like, it's not like you have to play the other classes or that you have to play that class. You can still play the others. Like the other 4 still exist. But some people just want to have the easy mash button. And I say, cool.
Yeah. I don't see when it's PvE, like once again, when it's PvE, I don't see a reason to like go back in and like nerf stuff. Just let it go. And then the thing is, the developers have all the information of all the statistics and data points, and they can correct it or double, quadruple check that this type of imbalance doesn't happen in the next season. But once the season's done, move on to the next season.
There's always more.
As long as it's not like a game-breaking game, or you're now doing negative damage where somehow it's healing your enemies, or it's not causing any damage when you do your uber special move, then I just leave it alone.
Sorry, you're doing so much damage. You actually reverse the polarity of how this works.
They got hit so hard that they came back to life.
You actually resurrected everyone.
Yes. Now, speaking of resurrecting, it's not like it's dead. However, there is news that's coming out just recently surrounding a movie franchise that hasn't really seen an update to it since 2007, I think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 2007. And that, of course, is that there is a rumor that there is going to be a fourth. Sorry, had to think for a second. There'll be a 4th Ocean's movie, and no, not the female cast movie, but the George Clooney and Brad Pitt headed movie. There's supposed to be in the works an Ocean's 14. Ocean's 13, I believe, was created in 2007. So after 17, no, oh my God, we're in 2025 now. Almost 18-year hiatus is coming back. Apparently, Clooney says that they have a really good script, and that Brad Pitt is definitely going to be attached to this. Now, of course, every other person that's part of it. I mean, there's a couple of characters that have now passed, so yeah. I'm not sure what they're replaced. I mean, it's a crew of thieves, so I'm sure that there's someone else that can fill the shoes. But at the same time, will they have that same chemistry as previous Oceans?
I mean, you got some pretty big names. You got, what is it, Don Cheadle. You got Matt Damon.
Yep. Oh my gosh. The Ben Affleck's brother, which I can't remember his first name now.
Yeah. I mean, it's bothering me now.
Now, the other thing is that I believe
Andy Garcia.
Yeah, Andy Garcia.
Yeah, is who you're thinking of.
Now, the one thing is that it will have a different. The reason why all this information is coming out is that there is a director, David Litch, who everyone's saying is going to be the director for Ocean's 14. This is the guy behind The Fall Guy and Deadpool 2.
I really enjoyed The Fall Guy. I know.
I still need to see it. I want to see it, but I just haven't had the time to sit down and watch it.
It was a box office bomb, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, I thought it was fantastic, personally. Yeah. I think I gave it like a 9 out of 10. So for me, I would definitely say worthwhile. It hit just the right notes. I could see somebody who did like, a Deadpool and a Fall Guy. I think that actually kind of works pretty well with the style of Oceans.
Yeah.
But I would also imagine, like, George Clooney and Brad Pitt have to have a lot of say over what's happening now.
Oh God, yes.
Like, if he does something like the whole point of Oceans, it's a very suave, smooth type of movie. And yes, there's like humor and jokes, but it's very like professionally done, if that makes sense.
Yes, very classy.
Yeah. So definitely, like, I could see them being like, no,
we're not doing that part.
If it's not, and I love, like, those movies. They're great movies.
Yeah.
So I'm all for another one. Hopefully it's good, because it's definitely something I'll keep an eye out for.
Okay, well, now that let's keep it in the realm of movies, just for a second. Okay.
Wait, you finally saw Borderlands?
No, I've not. What I will tell you, though, is that there is news about another sequel a sequel to a franchise that's very beloved. I believe the movie was released back in 1986, which would make it 39 years ago.
Oh, stop with these dates.
And then, ladies and gentlemen, there is a rumor that there will be a sequel to the very beloved sci-fi fantasy Labyrinth. Without David Bowie.
What to say?
And probably without Jennifer Connelly, to be honest with you.
I mean, Jennifer Connelly could still be in it.
She could still be there, but however, you're not going to have King Jareth.
Yeah.
But so there's a rumor that there's going to be a Labyrinth sequel, and the director that's being tagged for it is the gentleman behind Nosferatu, which apparently is setting all kinds of crazy stuff. And he's apparently just announcing movies left and right, because apparently he's also working on a werewolf movie as well. So he's working on a werewolf movie called Werewolf, which is WERWULF, to be, to stand apart. And apparently the Labyrinth sequel, as reported by TriStar Entertainment.
Sure.
It's TriStar Pictures, not Entertainment.
I'll believe it when it comes to streaming near me.
Yeah. Is this okay? So, Sam Grizzle, ever seen the old 70s movie Das Boot? The game U-Boat released in August, and it's fantastic. Highly recommend. Okay, well, there you go.
Is it about boats?
Yes, it's about submarines, I believe.
It makes sense because the U-boat is a submarine from back in the day.
Way back in the day. But no, I mean, I understand that I'm frustrated with this because I don't want Labyrinth to be touched. Sub-simulation with great graphics.
But, okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
There's a differentiation, though, because is it a reboot where they're like remaking it versus a sequel? So, yeah. So if it's a sequel, I have no issue with it. I think if they take the original, like we're just going to update it with, 40-year-old in the future CGI, but it's the same movie, then that I agree is lame. Or if it's a sequel, then it's like you could still leave the OG Labyrinth apart and just accept the sequel as being a sequel without it interfering with the original. That's how I feel about the sequel versus it being a reboot.
I don't know. Maybe I need to go back and watch the Labyrinth again. Labyrinth. Not The Labyrinth, because I'm sure The Labyrinth is a different movie than Labyrinth. But I don't see how they could continue the story unless for some reason I can't remember the baby's name, but unless the baby all of a sudden becomes King Jareth's successor, and so he has to go back into that world, which would require Jennifer Connelly, I believe, to say the spell to summon. I don't know.
They can always figure out a workaround. It's kind of like on TV. A character's never actually dead until you've seen them like dead in the coffin, buried, and then also incinerated because they could have actually been buried alive.
Now but here's the other thing though. This was definitely like a huge Jim Henson production, and if this sequel actually makes it to the screen, they better have like all those amazing puppets and whatever in that Jim Henson style. If they try to CG it, I don't know. I just don't know how I'd feel about it. Because when they did the Dark Crystal TV show, that was still the Jim Henson puppets, which was pretty dang good.
Still do puppets?
Yeah.
Are the focus groups going to prefer CGI or hand puppets there?
Well, if they prefer CGI, then they should watch a different movie, because because Labyrinth was made awesome, or even more awesome, simply by the fact that they had the puppets. Sam Grizzle says that's what Star Wars did, original with puppets and models. Now it's CGI, better known as glorified cartoons. And to be honest, and speaking of CGI, there's an anime that I was watching that's with it's got basically like the close-up scenes are still more drawn, and then like the far away scenes are CGI, and oh my god, can you tell the difference? And it's bad. It like all the characters get like almost like Slender Man kind of like ropey appearance. It's weird.
It sounds like an artistic design that you just don't understand.
Stick with one medium and just go. Okay? Stressful! Anyways, so there's apparently a Labyrinth sequel in the make. Now, speaking of CGI and animation and all that cool jazz, let's talk about the fact that there was I swear to God, Lego is making announcements left and right about collaborations with everybody. Because Lego, of course, last week we talked about Nintendo and Lego collaborating on a Game Boy. This week, Lego has announced that they are collaborating with One Piece. The anime. But actually, it's not the anime. It's actually the live-action version of the anime. But still, it's got the blessing of the creator, because the creator is very, very, very involved in the live-action as well as the anime. So, there is going to be a One Piece Lego collab. Now, of course, they don't know. I don't think they've actually announced when it will happen, but they've definitely made it very apparent that Monkey D. Luffy is going to be one of the center stars of this collaboration. Of course, Monkey D. Luffy is the captain of the Straw Pirates and also the main character of the TV series One Piece.
Well, as at Dragon Con this year, one of the big booths was actually it was Legos. It wasn't like actually Lego Incorporated. It was like these collaborators created all these big Lego designs with like instructions, and it was all geeky things, like a lot of like Nintendo type of things, for instance. Which like I know those exist, like that you can buy online, but like with your own variation and creations of them. It's pretty cool.
Sweet. No, I've run into some people who have utilized they've made their Lego sets and whatever, and then after they get bored with them, they break them down for parts, and then they I can't remember which convention it was at, but there's a dude who literally, once he gets bored with his creations, he breaks it down and then he reassembles it as basically almost a 2D piece. And it looks more like a painting, it's pretty dang cool as well. He'd do like I can't remember the art off the top of my head, but it's like one of the I think it's like I think it's Van Gogh's sunflower painting, where he just used it and make the painting out of Legos. So
nice,
yeah. But One Piece has a Lego collab thing. Woo! I am still, to be honest with you, the last couple of Legos that I've done have been those floral arrangements, which I've had a lot of fun with.
I honestly can't remember the last time I put together Legos. And so because I have a little shithead sitting behind me who would not let it happen.
Yeah, that would. I could foresee Rose being like, "Oh, look at that nice thing!" Flop, knocking it off.
She would actually be in heaven because it'd be like the greatest playpen ever for her. But not so much for actually getting any actual constructive work done.
Yeah, obviously, you literally have to do it all in a different room, and then put it. There's no place in your place that Rose couldn't reach.
That's the only thing I hate about my place is like I wish I had a 2-bedroom so I could just have it closed at all times for like exactly that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But oh well.
Okay. Let's move on to the next thing, shall we?
Indeed.
All right. So EA has announced that it is finally shutting down its platform Origins. Which, to be honest with you, I thought was long gone.
Wasn't it their own launcher?
Yes. It's going to officially be shut down April 17th, 2025. The reason why it's being scrapped is because Microsoft has stopped supporting 32-bit software.
Wait, Origin was 32-bit?
Yes.
Holy shit.
which is even more reason of how the hell are you still around?
That's kind of a bit. So the question I have is, I don't know if you have the answer. Are they creating a new EA64 launcher, or are you going to get it through other services?
Oh no, there's already like EA has its EA app platform.
Shows what I know.
It's just Origin apparently was still around for those super old school people.
I had no idea.
No, nor did I.
I like to live back in the day of 32-bit glory. Because it's a lower number means it takes less, so it's more efficient.
So EA has come out and said we can't promise that mods will transfer to the EA app. So you need to check with the mod creators to see if the content can be transferred. Origin users with cloud saves enabled will be able to bring over existing save game data without any action. Although EA acknowledged that some titles don't have cloud save capabilities, players will need to manually transfer those saves.
I mean, we like to shit on EA, but this is one that you can't really have a hard time about.
No, because it's
like
Microsoft forced a hand on this one, so
And it's a 32-bit app. It should have died a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's just the reality.
With Vista.
Yeah.
Or ME. Or, let's see, is there any other ones I can name?
Any what?
I'm trying to think of any other window variations that needed to die in a fiery death.
Oh. Yeah, ME was the worst.
But yeah. XP for life. No, there you go.
Give me back my 32-bit drivers, man.
Oh, man. Trying to find drivers for some of your older hardware is always a joy. Always a joy.
Well, that's the reason I try not to use older hardware anymore.
Well, some of us, Zealeus, aren't as wealthy as you are and have to utilize older equipment, okay?
If you're still on 32-bit hardware, then go kick a rock.
I'm pretty sure that my tablet, the drawing tablet that I used way back in the day is probably 32-bit.
Nice.
So I haven't actually plugged that into a computer in years.
One way to find out.
Yep.
See if it even still turns on.
I felt like there was something that was 32-bit that I plugged into my computer, and then my computer wouldn't turn on until I unplugged it.
Nice.
Yeah. So there you go. There's a quick way to find out if it's compatible with your computer. Plug it in, and then turn your computer on. If your computer doesn't turn on, it's time to upgrade your equipment.
Or get an older computer. Get like a DOS box.
Sure. Let's get a Steam box.
Oh, geez.
Or hell, let's just game on an Ouya. Let's do it. Anyways, moving on.
This keeps getting worse.
I'm trying to think of can we get an Odyssey in here? Or no,
let's just get an old Apple TE that's only the green graphics.
How about a Phantom?
We play video games on punch cards.
Oh yeah. We play video games by screwing and unscrewing light bulbs.
At that point, we might as well just play, Risk. Just go all the way analog.
No, dude. If you really want to pull out your hair, play Monopoly.
No, I don't want to murder myself.
Where are my single player rules for Monopoly, damn it? Anyway.
I don't know. Go ask Elon Musk.
Oh boy. Okay, anyways, moving on. Let us talk about actually, you know what? Let's here's a good segue here. There has been a discussion, always discussion, about emulators. Gasp. Which technically are not illegal. It's the software, the ROMs that you download to play on the emulator that are illegal. So my question, or sorry, not my question, but a question that was asked of me, and I am now posing it to the general audience, is how do you feel? First of all, you would have to find a computer that has a CD drive or a Blu-ray drive or whatever, but how do you feel about having an emulator on your computer that allows you to play your older disc games on your PC? You own the disc games.
Me and I own the license to play it on the disc.
Sure. If we're going there. You have the physical copy in your hand, and you can put it in the disc drive that you blew a bunch of dust off of that's been sitting in the back of your closet for years now.
I'm not sure what the question is, because if you can put it in the disk drive, therefore you can play the game.
No. I'm talking like a PlayStation 2 disc or an Xbox 360 disc.
I don't really have a moral issue with that because you own the physical medium.
Yeah.
I would go further in that if a game is not accessible to purchase, I see no issue with ROMs in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Once a game becomes available for purchase, then it becomes a different, murkier area because there is a legal path to actually getting it and purchasing it. However, at the same time, if it's a situation where like the rights have basically passed to some random third-party company and also nothing to do with the original publishing, and now they're the ones publishing it on Steam, I also really have very little moral qualms about somebody using a ROM for it either. Because it's not like, what has the new publisher actually done to kind of earn the rights to make the proceeds from the money? Absolutely nothing. So it gets a little bit murky to me there, the older the game gets, as far as the moral high ground goes, as far as ROMs and stuff goes. Yeah, for the most part, I really don't. It also because it's really such a small market in the first place. Like the number of people who actually even know what the hell ROM or emulator is so small in the first place. And the people who are actually doing it, especially now with how easy, because that was to me always the big thing, was like, how hard is it to get a product at all, right?
Right.
I mean, that was one of the big reasons people pirated so much music. It was novel, but also it was so easy. You just clicked a button and boom, I used Napster and music just magically appeared. This is cool.
Yep.
Whereas now you have Pandora, you have whatever that green app is.
Spotify.
Thank you. You have Amazon Music. You have so many options.
Yep.
Where it's like, okay, go find a legal way to listen to music.
Right.
But video games are still, they like to gatekeep a lot of stuff. And I just don't really feel terrible if people get ROMs for games that are being gatekeeped and you can't even really get in the first place.
Okay. So my question for you, Zealeus, then just to take it one step further, is when you said the accessibility of the game, let's say that it's region locked, and the emulator would be a way to get around it. Like it's available in certain countries, but you're in a country that's not available in.
Be a man and get a VPN. But all seriousness, like, yeah, I have really very little moral qualms for that person getting a ROM for that, if it's region locked. Like, I mean,
yeah.
If you have no way of actually getting it, then yeah, I'm not gonna cry river over it.
Okay, so for me, I'm basically in the same boat as Zealeus. The thing that really got you in trouble, back in my youth, is that you would get like the ROM. The other thing is trying to get pulling a ROM off of you'd require special hardware to pull it off, like an NES cartridge or a Super Nintendo cartridge or N64 or Sega Genesis. I also have no problem with you being able to, basically have an emulator for your PlayStation 3 on your computer and get to play your PlayStation 3 games on your computer because you have the physical disc to put in the machine. So I don't understand. Yes, I know. Then we get there's that murky water. Well, let's say that I got, what is it called? An image and I burned it. Does anyone still have burners? I burned it on the disc and then I played it. Okay, yeah, sure. Then we're picking complete brain fart here. Picking at straws. There we go. But at the same time, I'm a little bit, I think accessibility, absolutely. Oh my gosh. See, this is what happens when your kids are home for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Your brain's completely gone by 8:30 at night.
You had a brain?
Yes. Once upon a time, hypothetically, I may have owned like 200 ROMs. I don't anymore. I wish I did because there were some amazing games. Hypothetically, I wish I did. I somehow misplaced the entire CD case that had all of them, hypothetically. Yes, I know I don't have to put hypothetically there, but I'm tired again. Gosh darn it.
Are you hypothetically
That's how I got into some of these games that, many years later got like a remaster or got thrown onto, say, the Nintendo eStore. And I knew about them from the early days and purchased them so I could play them on my Switch. Yeah. I don't have a problem.
Well, I think that was also a big thing. Like when ROMs were such the rage, like think about Nintendo, for instance, right?
Yep.
There was no way to play I know this gets very much into the murky area, but like there was no way to play Nintendo games if you did not have a Nintendo device. Like same thing in the PlayStation games. Like platform exclusivity was such a bigger thing when you had the older consoles. Whereas now, like the bigger, I mean, Nintendo's kind of its own special bucket, but like most of the games that are on the Xbox or the PS5, like they eventually come to the PC. Like Final Fantasy VII Part 2, whatever they're calling it, like it's finally coming to the PC, but like you kind of knew eventually it was going to make it to there. Same thing with God of War. It took a couple of years, but eventually made it there.
I'm trying to remember what that second one is. I think
that's another big difference. Is so many games now make it cross-platform that you didn't see years ago.
Yeah. Damn it. Okay, so Remake was the second one. Remake is the first one. Rebirth is the second one.
Okay, sure.
So chapter 2
of 3.
Yes, and just out of just for those out there who are interested, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is confirmed to be released February 20. Oh no, that's for the PlayStation 5. I have god dang it! Now I gotta find the stupid thing. No, that's for PlayStation 5. You turds. Has that actually come out on the PC now? That would. Oh Lord, I don't know. Windows January 23rd. Oh, today. It's supposed to come out today. Sam says those old games are terrible. Let them play if they're that desperate for entertainment. The rest of us are playing U-Boat. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, exactly. Like Zealeus said, it's a very small subset of gamers. So I personally, more power to you. And hell, like I said, it might introduce you to a series that you wouldn't have known about, that maybe there is like a newer version, a newer edition of it out there that you will then find, get into. Like a DOS version of a game based on the movie Das Boot. And now they have U-Boat with beautiful graphics.
That would be a great name for a game. DOS Boat.
DOS Boat. I'm sure there's one out there.
Like DOS, DOS, like the operating system, not DOS.
No, I know. Yeah, exactly. Anyways. All right. Let's do one more story, then we'll do the friends of the show. Because we were already kind of leaning towards this, and this might actually be a very long topic, but we're going to do it anyways, gosh darn it. And that is, we talked about it last week, the Nintendo Switch 2 has officially been announced. So now, of course, everyone's going, well, besides Mario Kart, because there is absolutely going to be a new Mario Kart, because we've seen it in the promo videos, what are some of the other games that you want to see on the Switch 2?
Well, I mean, it's got to have a Zelda game, right?
Obviously. It's got to.
That's the big thing.
It's got to have a new Smash Brothers, too, as well.
I am kind of curious, with the better graphics, if Final Fantasy VII will come to it.
Final Fantasy.
Because like the new Final Fantasies could have never come to the Switch because it just didn't have the processing power. But now with, I'm assuming, a better processor, GPU, and all that good shit, if that means that Final Fantasy VII 1, 2, 3 remake, whatever you're calling it, I wonder if that can actually come to the Switch now.
Good question.
Which I'm thinking about because I'm actually finally playing. So a game I purchased on the Switch when I first bought it and never played it was Final Fantasy 12 of Zodiac Age, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. So I mean, the Final Fantasies make sense to me in general to come. I'm sure there'll be like a Secret of something.
Oh, Secret of Mana type game.
Yeah, a Tales of something game.
True.
A Xenosaga Chronicles.
Xenogear something.
Yeah. So those are kind of staples for the Switch.
I'd like to see a Switch 2 release of Metaphor Refantasio. Because it's very Persona-like, and there's been very successful Persona games on the original Switch, so why not put Metaphor Refantasio on the Switch 2?
So Wicked 2.
Shut up about, God damn it, Wicked. Oh, I love you, I miss you so much. The one Suikoden I'm missing, you son of a bitch. There's a history there, ladies and gentlemen. There's a very, very, very long history of sorrow and pain. And if I could get the original copy of Suikoden 2 and have an emulator and have a computer that has a disk drive so I could play it, gosh darn it, I probably would do it.
Somebody has emotional issues, PTSD, all the above.
Yeah, PTSD.
And it all goes back to video games.
Yes, exactly. How about a new Donkey Kong? Or let's finally get a new Kid Icarus. It's about time. Yeah, Metroid. Yeah. I think there's another. I think there's a new Metroid Prime in the works, so I wouldn't be surprised if that Metroid Prime made it onto the PlayStation 2. Or not PlayStation 2. Good Lord. Switch 2. It's been a very long day, okay? Gosh, geez. Oh, my God.
There is something about being able to sit on the recliner or just sit on the bed or sit wherever you are and just you grab the Switch. You don't have to turn stuff on.
Yep.
You don't have to hook up to the TV. It's just boop right there. It's like there is something about, and I know they also have the Steam Deck now. And to me, that's the big thing is the Switch 2 going to have the OLED screen or not?
Right.
Because like that's standard for like, I think all the Steam Decks come with it. So like, that's really who they're competing with now. And if you don't have as good a screen as the Steam Deck, you're already kind of behind.
Right. How about this? Could the Switch 2 handle something like a Cyberpunk game?
My guess is if they did Cyberpunk is they would have to optimize the hell out of it, and still it would be like Witcher 3 where you're not going to get all nice and fancy.
And if you're going to open up that if you bring Cyberpunk there, then you also have to do a GTA.
I could also see Diablo 4 coming since you already have Diablo 3.
That's true.
That one makes sense to me.
How about trying to play Final Fantasy 14 on a Switch?
People do it on a Steam Deck, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works. It works. From what I've read, it works well on a Steam Deck. In part because 14 was from the ground up optimized for the controller.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there another game out there? I'm trying to think of some other Nintendo series, like WarioWare.
You're missing one of the biggest, bro.
Huh?
You're missing one of the biggest.
You want to put a Mass Effect on there?
Pokemon.
Well, yeah, there's got to be a new Pokemon on there. I mean, that's...
But now they're saying it, yes, the Mass Effects. Just put everything on the Switch. There you go.
Anything and everything. Let's just throw it out.
Maybe like every big franchise at this point.
But once again, I feel like I need to reiterate this. The Switch is phenomenal. As Zealeus has stated, it you could basically just pick it up, walk around. You could play it on the go. However, I would keep an eye on your surroundings, especially if you have animals, so that you don't trip and fall and kill yourself. Because I've got dogs that like to get underneath my feet. I know Zealeus's cat is always looking for an excuse to cause him harm.
Yes.
But there are certain games out there that even if they were playable, I feel like the way that everything's so flat that I would not enjoy playing on that. I would have to have my own controller, which of course would mean that I would have to put down said Switch. However, I do like the artist mock-up that gives it a real freaking stand instead of this little kickstand that if you just tip it a little bit too much, I think it's on the left side. If you actually tap the screen a little bit too hard on the left side, it would just basically spin and fall to its death.
And that's a big thing. That's why like Final Fantasy 12 works to me very well on the Switch because it's that hybrid like action turn-based combat kind of.
Yeah.
Where you can control. So like versus a game like Hades, which is miserable. Like I've had no issue with 12 on the Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
But a game like Hades, after the first room, my hands were cramping.
Oh yeah.
The Joy-Cons.
Because there's a lot more button mashing.
Yeah, so definitely the games where it's a lot of button mashing, a lot of quick movements with the joysticks.
Yeah.
Those are definitely not what I want to be playing on the Switch on the Joy-Cons. Like sure, you have the Pro Controller.
Yeah.
But to kind of take advantage of the mobile aspect, yeah, definitely those more action combat games like a God of War would not be fun, for instance.
No, it would not.
So yeah, it definitely depends on the game in that regard.
Yeah. But I mean, like Zealeus said, I would love to see anything and everything on the Switch too, if it can handle it. And for the games that require a more twitchy setup, that's why you got a Pro Controller. Yep. Or if you don't get a Pro Controller, go buy yourself a Pro Controller, because holy crap, it's worth it. I have some third-party controllers. Two of the three have now gone bad. Finally, this one, because I was playing against my son in Smash Brothers the other day, and although none of the buttons are stuck, the character will randomly do weird ass shit.
I have a third-party controller, a PS5 controller, an old Xbox controller, and a Pro Controller. The Switch Pro Controller is my favorite of all those.
Yeah, I like it.
Really like the feel of it.
It's got the right heft to it. That's the other thing, is a lot of these third parties, it feels so light and janky as a result.
Yep. Yeah, no, I love the Switch Pro Controller. It's really, I wish I had better. You can use Bluetooth on it with your PC, but it's very hit or miss as far as actually working correctly.
Right. Sam Grizzle says Google has stated that the Switch 2 will likely cost $500. Yep. Would not surprise me. I know that when the original Switch came out, it was what, $250, but if you're gonna try to start pushing all those ones and zeros at the speed as the other big boys, it's gonna cost.
Yeah, it'll be. Yeah, I'll speculate when we actually know the price. Then I'll start speculating about what it means. But until then, I'll just wait.
500 seems like a very predictable price point. I would say. Now the question is, what games come with that at the 500 price point? Damn it! And yeah, it
depends, because that's more than a PS5 and a Xbox, whatever the hell they call it. And
not when it first came out, though.
Not the discless version. The discless version was cheaper than that.
Right, but when they were first out.
Yeah, we'll see when it comes out.
Yeah.
Or when they announce the pricing.
Yes, that's true. I would hope that they would announce the pricing before they actually release it.
You're going to buy it and you're going to like it.
Here it is, by the way. Here's the price tag.
We now own all of your children, not just your firstborn.
Moo-ha-ha-ha. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's pause for a second to thank the individuals who help Alta Confusion be the Alta Confusion that you love and adore, and that, of course, is our friends of the show. And to start us off, we go with the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively travel to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. And I'm assuming, Zealeus, the website's working today?
It is indeed still working this week.
Fantastic. The next shout out we got to give is to Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Trent, Noodle Boy Media, it's previously Whack Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. The next shout out we got to give is to anyone who's in the greater Atlanta area. This gentleman can do wonders for all those aches and pains you have from sitting in your desk chair for too long, or maybe your gaming session has caused some weird shoulder pain. That, of course, is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the music maestro himself. That, of course, is CrossPad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content, just like Alter Confusion? CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he could do for you. And the final shout out we got to give is to the original patron backer of Alter Confusion. That, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, Ax leads both the development team and system administration team with working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus, but while not in meetings and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist, Agile Ax, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. All right. I somehow amazingly was able to read those words. However, I did trip over a couple of them, but I'm very happy with myself right now. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know that at this point you are very, very, yes, I know I can read. I could read 2 words and more. If I know at this point you're wondering, how do I become a friend of the show? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's quite simple. Alter Confusion survives on the love of support of fans like you, and that's why we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, werewolves, vampires, swamp creatures, mummies, supporters, and more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. We currently have 2 tiers. There's the $1 a month tier. That's $1 a month or $12 a year. What that gets you is early access to all of our playthroughs, which, of course, right now is the game. Oh, my God, I got to cheat here. The Expanse, a Telltale series. And also this will also get you the ability to participate in patron-only posts. Now, if you're feeling a little frisky and you want to pop up on to the $5 a month level, that's $5 a month or $60 a year, that gets you everything at the $1 level, but it also gets you your name or organization added to every single Friends of the Show section of the Thursday Night Hangout. So if you want to become a patron of Altered Confusion, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/Altered Confusion. And yes, Sam, Battle and Brew is closed on Mondays. And I would love for Battle and Brew to sponsor Alter Confusion, because that would make a very, 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 very happy man. But unfortunately, at this point, they do not. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I know that you are dying to know, how do I get Alter Confusion merchandise, like Charlie's hat, or the coffee cup, or the pet food bowl, or the flip-flops, or the notebook, or the vinyl sticker, which is very high quality. All you got to do is go to alteredconfusion.tv/merch. That's MERCH, and you can check out everything that you want for Alter Confusion. Excuse me, I was trying to burp, hiccup, and gasp at the same time. That was weird.
I hope it didn't come out the wrong end.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just trapped in there. It'll bother me later. How much for Zealeus' cat?
Sam, I will fight you to the death. That's how much.
All right. Anyways.
She's priceless.
All right, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen.
She's worth more than Battlefield. We'll put it that way.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm sorry, I lost track of. I have this cheat sheet here that has all the topics that we're going to talk about, and I forgot to update the ones that we did. So I'm like, oh shoot, we already did that one.
Did we do that one? I don't know. I'm just gonna say one and just act like we've done it. We act like we haven't done it. See if anyone notices.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so so there was an indie game, darling, that came out. Oh man, I think it was 2018, called Celeste. It was a 2D platformer from the developer Extremely OK Games, and it now appears that, unfortunately, sadly, the follow-up to the game, Celeste, which goes by the name of Earthblade, is now dead in the water. The developer basically wrote, "We made this decision in December and felt it best to wait until now to announce it. For us on the inside, we've had some time to process, grieve, and work towards accepting this, although that process is non-linear and still ongoing." There was a disagreement about the IP rights of Celeste last year between the former art director and current employees. The three of them eventually reached a resolution, but both parties also agreed in the end that everyone should go their separate ways. But they do want to state that this wasn't the only reason for the game's cancellation. They also state that they took a serious look at whether fighting through to finish Earthblade was the right path forward, and they decided that it was not. So they are kind of collecting all their brain cells back together, and they are going to start a new project. They're going to be prototyping again, exploring at their own pace about a new game. Just nothing to announce as of yet, which sucks, because Celeste was a really good game, but also kind of sucks for a smaller studio, because this could actually kill a studio if they're put all their money and weight into a follow-up to a game that was very popular. So you have a lot of people who are now kind of like, well, I wanted that game. I don't know if I'm going to want the next game, but we shall see.
Yeah, I never played the game, but always, when people's livelihoods are at stake, you always want to succeed, because
yes,
want them to do well and come with new, cool, unique games.
Yes, and and thankfully these people, this development team, they've got their heart in the right place. They just knew that it wasn't worth continuing to go forward, which happens. There are
better to pivot. Yes,
there are tons of games that are they start the development phase and they get to a certain point, and there are tons of games that the developers or the publishers decide that they just can't take it. They can't take it forward anymore, and they've got to pivot.
I think I see in the news all the time where it's basically usually the bigger publishers shut down smaller developer game because they don't think it's going to make enough ones and zeros.
Yes. Now, the one thing that they said is that their next project is going to be a much smaller scale, which of course makes total sense, because if you put all this time and effort towards a follow-up to a very well-received game, that's a lot of money that's now gone. And so you're probably going to need something smaller to kind of rebuild the capital to make a bigger game in the future. Now, this is, I believe the studio also made a game called Towerfall. I could be wrong, but I think they also made Towerfall. So we'll see. We'll see. But unfortunately, the Earthblade is now dead. D-E-D, dead. Yes, I know I spelled it wrong. But anyways. All right, finally, let's talk about some controversy. Apparently, there is this set of awards that basically take place at Gen Con for the past 2 decades, and it's called the Ennies, E-N-N-I-E-S, and it's one of the more prestigious awards in the industry for like tabletop games. And What's the one thing that seems to be just rattling everybody's cages about submissions for contest? Zealeus?
AI.
Exactly. And so they're still getting a lot of backlash, again, because as of right now, they do have, so when you submit your tabletop game for an ENnie award, you've got this checkbox you got to check to say, did I is there AI content that's part of this game? You basically have to say yes, but it's an honor system. And a lot of people feel like if you check that box, you are greatly decreasing your chance at winning an ENnie. And so a lot of people have been like, oops, I forgot to check it, when people go, that's AI generated.
Yeah.
I understand. I mean,
the problem is it just, if it's just a static yes or no box?
Yeah.
Like in the world, like for instance, of development, like everyone uses AI.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that your game or product was created by AI, but it's been assisted by using AI to help me maybe fill in the gaps or solve this one line of code I just can't figure out. Does that mean that it was created using AI? I mean, yeah, so it was, but
Right.
There's definitely varying degrees of AI-ness in which you leverage to using a product. We always talk about Photoshop. Photoshop is AI to me. It is now 100% an AI product, but the way it can, I mean, Photoshop, the verb of taking somebody's head and plopping it out, like you used to actually have to know how to do that. Like there was an actual skill to Photoshopping a person's head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cutting out, doing the contours, you have to do filters and shit. Like it used to not be, it wasn't hard, but like you had to know what you were doing.
Right.
Now you literally click a button of, I want to take this person's head, and it does it. Like that is AI 100%. And all those filters it does to make your shit look pretty, that's AI. I'm not saying they shouldn't be used, but that's the problem to me when it's just like, you used AI. I'm like, it's not as simple as yes, you used AI, or no, you did not use AI.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely a gradient as far as how did you use AI? How much did you use AI? I know it's not an easy thing to address, but it needs to be addressed because that's kind of the thing.
One of the things that we've talked a lot about is that if you really want to go I did nothing with, I never touched AI. Okay, did you use spell check? That's AI.
Yep.
Did you use like a Grammarly thing to help your grammar structure of your sentences? They're not AI. Those AI things are not writing it, or they're tweaking it, I should say, so that it makes grammar. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I cannot grammatically write correctly. I cannot correctly write grammatically. See, case in point, right there. Okay, I should
Grammarly. And
I should type that into Grammarly and then tell you what the sentence is supposed to be. Okay. So yes, I will fully admit I use AI to write anything.
I mean, it's a very common thing now where businesses someone will actually tell you, write an email and then put it through ChatGPT to soften the language.
Yes.
Or
like
you literally tell ChatGPT, like, I want to soften this language, or like, I actually want to sound like the asshole in this language.
Or no, just feed the email in and give me the bullet points.
Yeah, that's what it does. So it's like, and again, I don't see an issue with that.
No.
So that's the tricky part, is the cat is out of the bag. It's here. And I don't know. I understand the spirit behind not wanting AI. I totally get it. But it's also not reality.
Right. Well, okay, but to just kind of like pivot back to the ENnies, one of the biggest problems that they're running into is the AI generated art. And there's a lot of copyright. Any huge, prestigious award organization, showcase, whatever, does not want to reward theft. Okay, they don't want, and it looks bad on them because that looks like they're not doing their due diligence. They're not doing their homework.
I mean, that's the great thing, because at that point you're probably talking about the generative AI,
right?
So like using Photoshop to like increase your filter or whatever, it's a form of AI, but to me that's modifying your original work,
right?
Versus the generative AI, where you're literally saying, I want to create a picture, a hellscape of a cat eating a dog, and it basically goes and scrapes other websites and creates that for me.
Yep.
Like that's on the far end of not being cool from the AI perspective.
Right. I think that's more in line with what the indies are getting in trouble with.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that so basically the other thing is that with any awards, let's say that you give it out to a bunch, they won the award for best cover art or whatever, and then now they've got to retract it, and that looks bad, because it looks like they don't to some people it might look like they don't even update their own information, but it's because they've had to retract it. Of course, once they retract it and remove it, they don't want to talk about it, so it just leaves these gaping holes.
I think it also depends on the medium. So Craig Cable here is what I'm about to say. He'd probably come over and murder me, but when it comes to board games, I'm not honestly that concerned about where does the art come from.
Yeah.
Like if it was created by generative AI for a board game, don't get me wrong, I like good artwork in my board game, but I'm generally playing it for the actual gameplay itself.
Right.
And the art is a nice added bonus.
Yeah.
Versus like
it's window
the
dressing.
actual piece of artwork on my wall that I want to know is actually created by a human with their bloody hands and not generative AI. So, and I get Gen Con is a very specific niche of gamers who probably who are going to care much more about the artwork and where it came from than I do.
Yeah.
I'd be kind of interested to see like what, like, I'm even curious, like if you submit your game for an award, like how specific does it spell out? Like what are they defining as, created by AI? Like, are there any definitions? Or is it just a checkbox?
Right.
Like how, like, is there any kind of specifications? I think that does matter.
Right.
And to some extent, if that also helped in the content producers, like, where did you use AI? Almost like a checkbox. Did you use it for creating, like, did you use it, to your point, to use it for the spell check and grammar and your instruction manual? Did you use it for actually creating the rule set? Did you use it, like, there's definitely different ways you could use it. So I think that would kind of be interesting to me, is like, how did that developer of the board game actually leverage using AI in the creation of this game versus just a catch-all, did you use it or not?
Right. I agree. So I mean, we'll the wonderful ever-changing landscape of AI generated stuff and what is and what isn't AI generated continues to evolve.
Indeed.
Anyways, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Real quick, Zealeus, what you playing?
Picked up on the Switch. I've been playing Final Fantasy 12 Zodiac Age, and then started playing Diablo 4 Season 7 a little bit today.
I have not really played any games since last we talked because I've been playing the game of unpaid teacher, assistant, intern. But I am going to record chapter 3 of the Expanse of Telltale series. And I will be posting, for those patrons out there, I will be posting the second chapter next week. And then I will probably get some Warframe in. Yes, Warframe. Sorry, I had to think about it for a second because when I was streaming last, I kept calling it I kept alternating between Warframe and Warhammer.
So do you play Warframe Hammer solo, or is this only with the kids that you're playing it?
I am solo. I am doing some solo stuff just so that I could keep a little bit ahead of the kids. Although the kids haven't played in God knows how long, so I'm now way ahead. But I also want, I want to be the uber super Tinno. That's the type of, I guess technically the race, maybe, I don't know, but I'm trying to play it so that I can remember all the little nuances, so that when the kids get to where I'm at, we can do, like mine for ore or go fishing, or spear fishing, which I just remembered was a thing, so. I'm basically just trying to lay the groundwork just in case the kids come back. And when they do come back, I'll be like, oh, yeah, let's do this now. So.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah. Anyways, and then, of course, at some point, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and restart my entire game of Metaphor Refantasio, because I totally screwed the pooch on having my characters constantly change classes early on, and now I can't do jack squat, and I'm in a boss battle that the boss absolutely decks me every single time, and I don't know how to rectify the issue besides just start again from scratch.
So, Final Fantasy 12, I got it when the first Switch first came out, and actually I remember the reason I stopped playing is to get to like about an hour in, and you choose your first class.
Oh.
And I was so overwhelmed with what class to choose, where I'm like, I can't decide. So I just stopped playing.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But what I actually really like, one of my favorite things actually about it, is you can change your class at will. It costs nothing. And you keep basically the equivalent of all of your experience points. That I really appreciate when a game, because it's not like you get more experience or you magically become more powerful. It just allows you the flexibility to change things as you see fit, which as a gamer is a massive quality improvement option, which I really like. And especially in a game where you have multiple classes and they matter.
So in Metaphor, you have your character level, but you also have your class level.
Okay.
And so bouncing between the classes means that, yeah, your character's base stats are improving. However, they do get influenced by the class changes, which you could change classes once you have unlocked said class for each character. It's not like you unlock Red Mage and then everyone could do it. You have to unlock Red Mage for each individual character.
Gotcha.
But it's those skills that get unlocked with the class leveling that's really screwed me over.
Yeah, I got you.
Because I would love to have, the heavier healing that heals the entire party instead of one person in the boss battle.
Yep.
But anyways.
You must have the golden triangle, take a DPS and a healer.
Yeah. My ragtag crew is completely lost. So I'll just have to restart. That's okay. Anyways, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of our show. So, without further ado, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultimate Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you come our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultimate Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
And remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.